You have just lost $60 million. It is 9:47 on an ordinary morning. Not your 60 million, other people's. A university, a charity, the retirement fund of 11,000 school teachers. In 13 minutes, you have a meeting about office chairs. You will attend it. You will have opinions about lumbar support. No one in that room will know. $500 sits at the beginning of this story. $2 billion sits at the end. This is what the distance costs. Your mouth has gone dry. 31 years in the markets, and some things never train out. To understand how a person learns to lose a fortune before lunch and still taste his dinner, you go back to the start, to an $8 folding table, to a 19-year-old who is about to find out what a heartbeat sounds like from the inside. On the way up, you will meet the test that costs $149 and breaks grown men. The morning the entire market dies, and you, somehow, do not. And the man who quits, walks away, and wins. Each level costs more than the last. Level 1. The deposit. You are 19. You live in your mother's house and take classes at the community college. Your mother cleans medical offices at night. She has never once doubted you about anything. You will learn that her faith is heavier than doubt. You want out. Not out of her house, out of the math of her life. You want it so badly, it has a taste. Your desk is a folding table you bought at a garage sale for $8. One leg is shorter than the others. You fold a napkin under it. On that table, you open a brokerage account and deposit $500 from 2 summers of yard work. There is a sound in your ears when you press the button. It takes you a moment to understand it is your own pulse. Your first stock is the company that makes your shoes. You know the shoes. You reason that this is research. You buy 4 shares before your 9 a.m. class. By noon, you are up $9, and you are certain you have a gift. By Friday, you are down 14, and you sell everything in the hallway outside the math building. Here is the first lesson, and you will spend 3 decades relearning it. The market did not notice you. Not your entry, not your exit, not your gift. To the market, you do not exist. You keep going. You win for 3 straight weeks on message board stocks and start doing the math on what a year of weeks like this makes. You have not learned to trade. You have learned to feel. And there is a rule waiting for you with a boring name, the Pattern Day Trader Rule. Under $25,000, an account like yours is only allowed a few day trades a week. You learn this rule the way you will learn every rule in this business, by breaking it. Level 2. The Survivor. You are 21. Your account has grown to $1,900, and on an afternoon in March, it becomes $210. A biotech company, a drug trial, a message board that was certain. The price fell through every floor you thought it had, and you watched it happen with your hand on the mouse, not moving, because selling would make it real. You do not eat that night. You nearly close the account. Instead, you do something small. You print every trade you have ever made and go through the stack with a red pen, like grading someone else's homework. The patterns are humiliating because they are so simple. You sell winners in hours and hold losers for weeks. You trade biggest on the days you are angriest. You have been studying charts for 2 years. The thing that needed studying was you. You write 2 rules on the back of your left hand. 1%, never chase. 1% of the account is the most a single trade may cost you, and you never trade to win a loss back. The ink washes off every night. You write it again every morning for a year until your hand stops needing it. You stock shelves overnight to rebuild, the same shift schedule as your mother, 2 buildings apart. The wins are small and boring and slightly larger than the losses, which you now understand is the entire secret, and also why almost no one can do it. You graduate with $9,400 and a decision. No office, no desk that belongs to someone else. Your mother tells the women on her shift that her son works in finance. Her son works at a folding table. Level 3. The funded. $9,000 cannot pay rent. You do the arithmetic one night and it frightens you. To live on $9,000, you would need returns that professionals with billions cannot print. You need size. There is an industry for people exactly like you. Firms that rent you their capital, if you can pass their test. You pay $149. They give you a $50,000 simulated account and a set of tripwires. Lose more than a few percent in a day, you fail. Lose too much overall, you fail. Hit the profit target without tripping a wire, and they fund you with real money. Most people who pay for that test never pass it. Not most, nearly all. You fail your first attempt in 4 days. You fail your second in 1, because a loss made you angry, and anger made you double, and doubling is just the biotech afternoon wearing a new coat. In a forum for the failed, you meet a man named Dev. Same age, same dream, 5 attempts. The week you finally pass, after 6 careful, boring, rule-shaped weeks, Dev fails his last attempt and quits. He becomes a high school math teacher. He sends you one message: "Take my luck, I wasn't using it." You will think about that message for the next 40 years. The email arrives. You are funded. $100,000 of someone else's capital, and you keep 80 cents of every dollar you win. Your first payout is $1,840. The first thing you buy is your mother's Friday nights back. Level 4. The Independent. You are 26, and your job is a rented 1-bedroom with blackout curtains and 3 screens on an $8 table. Funded accounts at 4 different firms. Stacked together, almost $500,000 of buying power that is not yours. The income arrives like weather. $6,000 one month, nothing the next, -2 after that. No boss, no coworkers, no one to see you win. The loneliness is the part no video ever mentioned. At a birthday dinner, you meet Elena. She is an emergency room nurse who works nights. You watch numbers that mean money. She watches numbers that mean heartbeats. She wins every argument about stress by default. She learns your calendar has no weekends, only open and closed. She learns to read your day in the way you load the dishwasher. She does not ask you to stop. She asks one question, early, that you never fully answer. What is it for? Level 5. The Desk. A message arrives from a name you know from the forums, a partner at a proprietary trading firm, a real one, a floor, a book, a badge. They have watched your funded track record for a year. There is a seat if you want it. The floor humbles you in an hour. 20 traders in a row, keyboards like rain, and every one of them faster than you. You lose money in your first week in ways you thought you had outgrown. The man in the next seat is Marcus, 30 years in the business. He started in the shouting pits before the screens took over, and his old trading jacket hangs framed behind his desk like a uniform from a war nobody remembers. He watches you take a foolish loss and says the sentence that will pay your bills for the rest of your life. You are not paid to be right. You are paid to survive being wrong. You cut your size in half and start listening more than you speak. The veterans are not calmer than you because they feel less. They have just logged more repetitions at feeling it. You start logging yours. In your second year, you catch an earnings report the whole desk missed and make the firm $55,000 in 25 minutes. Marcus does not speak. He reaches over and taps your desk twice. In the pits, 2 taps meant, the trade is done, walk away. It is the closest thing to a hug this business has. You marry Elena in the spring. Small wedding. Your mother dances. Dev finds 4 hours to be there, and you notice something about him that sits in your chest like a splinter. He looks rested. Level 6. The Senior. Your daughter is born in October. You name her Maya. You go back to the desk 3 days later. The market reopens whether or not your life has changed. The promotion, when it comes, is not for your best days. It is for your boring ones. Consistency runs the desk. They give you a larger book and three young men who remind you of yourself in ways you do not enjoy. You teach them to size down. You teach them that the enemy has never once been the market. You give them Marcus's sentence and let them think it is yours. One of them takes a loss and spends the rest of the morning trying to force the market to give it back. By lunch, he has erased 3 months. After the close, you pull a chair to his desk, say nothing for a while, then tap the wood twice and tell him it is not over. For him, it is not. For the one after him, it is. Most people who sit down at a trading desk are gone within 2 years. You stop learning their coffee orders. Maya turns 6. Her class holds a science fair on a Wednesday afternoon, and she has built a volcano. You miss it for a central bank announcement. The announcement, when it comes, is that nothing will change. Rates hold. You traded the volcano for the words, rates hold. Elena does not fight with you about it. She just tells you, in the kitchen, with the lights off. You keep saying the market took it from you. The market has never taken anything. You handed it. Level 7. The Founder. You are 38, with a 15-year record very few people alive can match, and the oldest itch in the business, your own name on a door. You raise $20 million. A family office writes most of it, former colleagues write the rest, and Marcus, retired now, writes the smallest check of all. It is the heaviest one. You would rather lose anyone's money but his. The economics fit on an index card. 2 and 20. 2% of the assets each year to keep the lights on, 20% of the profits if there are profits. Everything else is fear management. A bad month used to cost you a bonus. Now, a bad month is a phone call to a man whose father's estate you manage, and you rehearse that call in the shower. You are the calm one now, at 3 in the morning, because there is no seat above yours, and no one whose job is to tap your desk. The fund returns well. Money arrives faster than ideas. 40 million, 60. In the kitchen, in the dark, you tell Elena, 1 more year, then it gets lighter. You are going to say that sentence 25 times. Level 8. The Crash. The spring, you are 44. The market falls 31% in 5 weeks. Funds that existed for decades stop existing in an afternoon. Your phone becomes a thing that only screams. Here is what actually kills funds in a crash, and it is not the losses. It is the exits. Investors demand their money back all at once, forcing funds to sell at the bottom, and the selling feeds the falling. The fine print you wrote years ago, how fast money may leave and in what pieces, decides who lives. You live. Down 8% while the world is down 31%, because 2 rules you once inked on the back of your hand turned out to be written somewhere deeper. 1%. Never chase. Protect it before you grow it. Elena's hospital has the worst spring of her career at the same time. Only one of you is allowed to use the word crisis, and it is not you. When the dust settles, survival is the only advertisement that matters. A state pension fires the famous fund that broke and hires the small one that didn't. Yours. 11,000 school teachers. Remember them. Within 18 months, you manage $700 million. You hire risk managers, compliance officers, a lawyer who says no for a living. The thing has your name on it, and it no longer fits inside your head. Level 9. The Weather. You are 50. The fund manages $2 billion, and you have crossed the strangest line in the business. You are no longer predicting the weather. You are the weather. When you buy, your buying moves the price, so you buy in whispers. 200,000 shares dressed up as 40 Saul accidents, hidden from the funds whose entire job is finding you. The game stopped being about charts years ago. It is about the other minds reading the same charts, and the minds reading them. There is a house with a gate now, and cars you are told are investments. The money stopped feeling like money somewhere around the second comma. What you chase now is the score. The clean, cold pleasure of being right when the consensus of the earth is wrong. It is the last pleasure this business has left you, and it is not nothing. And then there is the morning. 9:47, a position you believed in with your whole record. The thesis was right, and the timing was fatal. which in this business is the same thing as being wrong. $60 million, gone before lunch. A meaningful piece of it belongs to 11,000 teachers who have never heard your name. Your mouth goes dry. Some things never train out. You attend the chair meeting, you nod. You go home on time for the first time in a month, and Elena knows before your coat is off. 26 years of reading the dishwasher. That night, at your desk at home, alone, you reach down and tap the wood twice. The trade is done. Walk away. Level 10. The name. You are 63, 44 years of screens. You stop, the daily part at least. Younger people run the book now. Your job is to be the name on the door and the handshake the new investors came for. Marcus died 2 winters ago. At the funeral, you stood at the casket a long moment and tapped the wood twice. Your mother is gone too. In her last apartment, on the shelf, there was one photograph of you, age 20, at a folding table, red pen in your hand, grading your own mistakes. Not the magazine cover, that one. Dev retires the same spring you do. His school throws it in the gymnasium, and 30 years of students come back, hundreds, some with their own children. Your fund's 20th anniversary dinner seats 19. You do the math anyway. You have always done the math. Maya is an emergency physician now, like her mother. She calls you on your birthday and on holidays, and she is warm, and 30 minutes is the length of every call. She never learned to need you. It is the quietest kind of losing. Nobody at this altitude ever asks about the trades. Given the choice, you would sell the whole book back for one Wednesday afternoon and a paper volcano. On your last day, one of the movers holds up an $8 folding table with a napkin under one leg and asks if it is trash. You carry it down yourself. In the morning, you sit at it in the garage with a cup of coffee as 9:30 arrives somewhere downtown, and for the first morning in 44 years, you do not check. You check. Of course you check. You will always check. That is the position you opened at 19, at this table, and there is no closing it. No exit fills. That is the trade nobody shows you in the videos. Not the money you might lose, the person you will permanently become. Somewhere tonight, someone is watching a video about a man who turned $500 into $2 billion, wanting it, all of it. It can be had. The table, the billions, the 2 taps, the daughter who is polite. The other life can be had too, the safe one. It also sends a bill, it just arrives slower. The market opens tomorrow at 9:30. It does not care which one of you shows up. It never did. That is the first lesson, and the last one, and the only one that is free.